There we go.
Squish.
We're in it.
Right?
Squish, yeah.
Because we like the word squish.
Yeah, that's what
I wonder
it was.
if we'll ever start an episode without
Squishing it.
Squish the fly.
Squish the fly. But that was a good one.
So it's fly too. I keep saying bug. Yeah, squish because that could be any kind of bug.
I don't touch bugs.
Yeah.
Bugs are gross.
Yeah, you just yell for, oh my goodness, that was like literally a wasp came into the house the other day and she just started screaming.
I did not.
You did. No, you did.
No, I did
it's
not.
It's like, Kristen. I was like, what? She was like, there's a wasp on the window. And so I like took a towel and I went and like smacked it on the window. And
okay, she was freaking out too. She acts like she was so strong and macho.
I did freak out because I like
freaked out.
It wasn't a solid contact and that thing started coming at me and then I hit it again and
then she
stomped it.
Stomps on
squished
it.
The bug.
And then she's like, you're picking it up. And I was like, fair. I didn't have to kill it.
It's already dead.
Yeah, it was scary. But I do feel bad. Like I was like, oh
are
my
you
goodness,
allergic
killed
to
the
bees?
thing.
Bees? No.
Or
I just
wasps?
I don't like any creature, really. So.
No, that sucker was huge.
I think we need to clip that just without context right there. I don't like any creatures.
I just don't.
Welcome to Louisiana.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
right?
they fly. Oh my gosh, when things fly around me, oh my gosh, I hate them. Oh, birds freak me out a lot.
I could see
Just
that.
like the swoop and
Birds freak me out too.
yeah.
You know what really freaks me out is when they're like in airports and like inside or whatever. Like I'm like, why is there a bird in here?
When they're trapped.
We both don't like birds yet. When we went to Australia, we went to a bird, like, what was it?
Okay, I wanted
Farm
to see.
music.
I wanted to hold a koala and I wanted to pet a kangaroo. So we went and we went to the bird show because
yeah,
there
it was
was
a
like
bird
you know when you go to like a zoo type place, there's
Right,
shows.
Yeah.
And we hate birds. And why did we think that we could go to a bird show? And then one like swooped and
Oh
she
my
could
goodness,
like
no.
feel the
Sorry,
air.
we'll get to the questions at some point. Literally, there was, I don't know why we went to the back row of this bird show because there was a backrest. And we were like, oh, perfect. And I sit, and as soon as I look behind me, there's like a wooden like board, like literally like right behind me. And I was like, a bird probably is going to come land on this at some point. But I was like, we'll see. All of a sudden, midway through the show, the person is at the stage, which is like a little down. And all of a sudden, they make like this noise. This huge bird just...
It was like a hawk.
A hawk. Literally like beeline at me, comes like here, and then sits like right behind me. I and every single person in this bird show is just staring at me like I like freak out. Because I am telling you, Anthony, this bird was coming directly at me.
And
like,
it was big. I will
this
give it to her. It
large-
was big.
It would
and
freak
then
me out.
It was just sitting like right there, and I'm like,
It was like an airplane.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I was like, we need to leave. We got to go.
I would not be okay with a bird over
We
my
were
shoulder.
very unwell after that.
Yeah.
I was so, that was traumatizing.
And then
That's
they were
all-
like, "Oh, if you want to come pet the birds," and we're like, get me out of here.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, no, I had my experience. Yeah, I came up
Yeah.
with I'm solid. Spent a lot of time with the bird there.
Yeah, but she did hold a koala.
You did hold one?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
it was awesome.
Did you pet the baby kangaroo too? Or-
Yes.
Wow.
I got to play with
Yeah.
a bunch of kangaroos.
This girl's like, I don't like animals. She's over there like, I think she was like hugging a kangaroo at one
yeah,
point.
because they were cute and they were just little. And then I saw one in the little pouch, and it was so cool. And then I lost Kristen. I was like, oh my gosh, did a kangaroo get hurt? Because it was like a petting zoo of like you could go inside with the kangaroos, and then they were like, be careful, kangaroos can be mean, but those are like the wild ones. They
Right.
don't put the mean ones in there. And I was like looking around. I was like, Kristen's gone. Oh my gosh, where is she? And she's sitting in like the little area where there's like a restaurant and there's
I was
chairs and a
behind the
table.
fence. I was like, oh, hey.
And
I'm
she
good.
would
I
not.
don't need
She
to
was
be in
just
the
sitting
kangaroo.
there on her phone, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm a city girl. I am a city girl."
Let me stress the entire time while we were like in Australia, everyone was like, kangaroos are like so dangerous. They're like
Right.
one little swipe and your insides are done. I'm like, okay. I
I'm
like
good.
I
Yeah.
like my internal organs. She again is like over there like, oh my gosh, kangaroo.
It was so cool.
I'm sure they declaw them and
And
stuff.
the way they
No.
walk,
No.
they
No.
don't. The
would
way
be
they
cruel.
walk on their legs with their little tail and their arms, it's so cute.
How big are the adult ones? They're pretty
kinda big.
big, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
large.
They're like Kristen size.
Yeah.
Sir, no, tall.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like that's big for a wild animal.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's not a creature. It's an animal.
It's an animal. Okay, because I was gonna say because we had
Creatures are
on
like
camera that you
bugs,
don't do any.
insects.
Okay.
Ugh.
Okay, that's where we draw the
Rats.
lines. Rats
Oh,
are definitely
gosh,
a creature.
Mice.
Yeah, no. All right.
Cockroach.
That's more of what I was thinking of. Yeah, like creatures and like bugs when you say like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll tell your cockroach story one time.
Yeah.
Not right now, but eventually we'll
We'll get to
talk
the
about it
questions.
on
I'm
here.
sorry.
oh yeah, we are asking questions. Yeah, this is part 2 of episode 7.
questions.
Let's see. I liked where we were going. I was going to try to find something that was similar, but all right. In general, what's the best and worst part about being a professional beach volleyball player?
Do you have an answer?
I would say
Let's go best. What's the best?
Okay. I have 2 things. One, I think naturally just the travel. I think it's really fun. I've wanted to see the world. And when everybody's like, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, I don't know. I want to be involved in sports. I want to travel and I want to be around people. And I get to do all of those things. Yeah. So it is really kind of like my life goal or things that I wanted to have involved in my life. And then the other really, really cool part is the amount of people that you have an impact on that you don't even know. That has been so cool. The realization of somebody's like, I am watching you for your blocking and I'm changing and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, I didn't even think, yeah.
It's so cool. I think that, and it's just like a heartfelt, people really mean it. They're watching, they care. That is probably my 2 favorite parts.
Yeah, that's wild because that would be my 2 answers as well. I was literally going to say literally the traveling, like the amount of times where we recently went to Paris and it was just like a random Tuesday. We're sitting at a cafe in Paris and it's just like
baguette in hand.
Baguette in hand. And it's just like, we are doing this. This is like our job, like literally to be walking through Paris right now on a random Tuesday.
Right.
It's just like, holy crap. We do that all the time. And it's just like, wow. And yeah, the ability to like inspire others or just like a younger generation or something like that, like that is just absolutely heartwarming. And I think I always said that when I like started out like basically a career just in sports. It was like I want to inspire like others, and getting the messages like she was saying, like it literally will bring like tears to my eyes when like kids are like, I get a lot of like moms being like, my daughter, like she probably would never tell you this, but like she's still like gonna go try and play in college like because of you. And it's just like, oh my gosh, that is just like,
and I just start crying.
Yeah. So that for sure, those 2 are the best. Now the worst. The worst. I mean, I know we like talked about the travel, but also the fact of like getting to these places sometimes, that is not always fun. The like long plane rides.
Right.
That is when your like body is like, especially like after a tournament, when you're like your back is killing you, or you're just like just the little aches and pains, and then you go sit on like a 10-hour flight and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is the longest 10 hours of my life.
Yeah.
And then I think also just the hard kind of like business side of it, of like finding the sponsors, like having to like reach out to people and just like have those like uncomfortable conversations of like, can you help us? Like, that's like really hard. I think especially for both of us, because we don't like to like brag about ourselves being like, oh, we're the number 2 team in the world. Like, can you please sponsor us? Like that's like really hard. And I don't enjoy that side of it.
That's a very, very good.
Yeah,
that's good perspective for people.
But you like have to do it.
Yeah, it's part of your job. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, no, absolutely.
But there's always parts of every single job that you're probably not going to love, and I would say our downsides are not as horrible as the upsides.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say I think it's really hard for me to shut my brain off from training. So we just went home, and it takes me like 4 or 5 days to be like, it's okay that you're not in the sand.
Right.
It's okay that you are not in the gym and doing everything. Eating. Like, as soon as I like eat something that is like not normally like what my regimented schedule of eating is, it really affects me. So now that I have to think about that all the time, and just sometimes we have to look at each other and be like, we have to be normal people. And even Drew was like, for these 2 weeks, just like go be normal people. And as soon as he says it, as soon as he gives us the freedom to do it, I think I finally can be like, okay, I can go be a normal person and just kind of make a decision that's, like, I'm going to go to eat out twice in 1 week and it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a really good perspective. I struggled with that too. And like, you guys have similar training in the sense of your shoulder, right? Movement, mobility, that kind of stuff. So same thing for me. If I took 3 days off from throwing, I'm like, my shoulder's going to be messed up, right? All these different things.
I'm going to suck. I don't know how to play.
Exactly. I'm going to lose the feel for the ball. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like really in my head about that too. Cause pitchers is like, it's so fine. You know what I'm saying? Like the feel of a baseball and like just taking 3 days off, it was crazy. I'm sure the same thing with you guys.
If you take like a week off from like being in sand and then you go back, you're like, I can't walk in this stuff. You're like, what?
Yeah.
But I mean, it comes back, but it definitely is a little adjustment period.
Yeah, I like that. Those were really good. And how old are you guys again?
26.
26.
I'm 25.
She's about to be 26.
I'm about to be 26.
In like a month and 3 days.
Who's counting?
Me.
Yeah.
I love birthdays. I love celebrating the little things.
I love it.
Yeah.
What are we doing for the birthday?
26.
We're going to Wicked.
We're on Wicked. And we're having Sand in the Sand is on my birthday.
Oh, whoops.
So
That's kind of cool.
I forgot about that.
we'll be
And what did you say?
Beach
Wickeds?
Wicked.
What
musical.
She loves musicals.
Nice.
Yeah,
So we're
that
going
is
to that.
something that people probably would not guess. But I think because I literally just got back from New York and we went and saw our Broadway play. And it really is just like listening to them sing and just like listening to like the orchestra. I'm just like so captivated and just like, this is just so pretty. I think it's because
You would have never guessed that about her, huh?
I love it. Yeah.
because like I can't do that.
Yeah.
So just like the art of that, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Like, yeah.
I feel the same way. That's why like art for me is like, I'm like, dude, you painted that? Like that's amazing. Like, I don't know. I get it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really cool though. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That was like an extra question, bonus question right there.
I know, bonus question about Kristen.
Love
There
musicals.
we go. All right. So we talked about LSU, your favorite memories, that kind of stuff. What's the coolest moment you guys have experienced as a professional athlete? So once you got to the professional ranks.
Oh.
A little different than the best memory, but this is the coolest moment. Is there a moment that stands out?
You got one?
I feel like I know what you're gonna say.
Oh, what? This
feel
is
like
always
we
a fun
talked
game.
about
that we
this.
try
This
to
is
play.
fun, yeah.
What?
Australia. Coolangatta.
She's like, what? Which what? I don't-
No.
I'm just kidding.
That's
I'm
so
kidding.
we actually like play this game of like we ask a question, then be like, I think I know your answer. But yeah, I've always said that that's like my favorite moment in volleyball, just as a memory. When we got into the Australia international event for the first international, we had been trying for so long, and everybody was telling us to break up, and there's no shot, and then like after a while, you're like, oh my gosh, maybe they're right.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There is no opportunity that we're going to be able to get in together. So I do remember walking out of the dermatologist. My friend calls me, says that we got in together after being 32nd in line to get onto the qualification tournament, or to get into the qualification tournament. Yeah. And I screamed so loud. Everybody in the parking lot looked at me, and I was like, I'm okay. I'm just really excited.
Don't call the police, I promise
you. Yeah. And then I called Kristen, and she was like, what? And you were going somewhere, so we couldn't talk. And I was like, I'm going to go try and book flights and blah, blah, blah. And as soon as like that hits, it's like, okay, we got to get flights. We got to get hotel. We have to get transportation, a place to stay. It's just like all of those things hit, and you become your own travel agent. So that's another like part of like the volleyball, off the volleyball court, that you just have to think about, that you're always.
Yeah. Would that have been your answer?
Well,
That's coolest moment?
No, because I think my coolest moment is when like people, you just like see people and they tell you cool things that you didn't even know were happening. I think those are like my favorite part, when you're impacting somebody in a positive way and you don't even know you're doing it.
That's really cool.
That is pretty cool.
You guys, like, that's why I asked how old you guys are, because when I was 25, 26, like your guys' age, there was no way I had the perspective that you guys have. I know I always gas you guys up. I think it's part of my job as the producer, but I don't know. Like my mindset was completely different at 26, you know? And so I feel like that's why you guys are successful and on the path of success, and people gravitate towards you guys, because you do have this perspective and you appreciate those types of things. I think when I look back on my life, I'm like, man, I didn't appreciate those things and almost like assumed that it was going to happen. Right. And so it's just really cool to have such talented people be so down to earth and have that perspective and stuff. So
I feel like that's where we like help each other out too, because we like both have that. And it's like, I feel like the other person will bring something up and then it'll like make us think about that.
Yeah. Well, you're given a platform, right? And you want to build the platform as high as possible so that you can reach as many people.
Right.
And you only have a limited amount of time. And when you are given that, you have to do something with it. It's like too much, or to whom much is given, much is expected, or whatever. Like I genuinely feel like that. And I feel like we've been super blessed, and I feel very lucky. So I journal a lot, and it's like every single time I go through and like think about all the things. And I actually went back to January 1st of this year because I was like, oh my gosh, the year is almost over. And it's like all the things that you like hoped, wished, and prayed for. And it was like, oh my gosh, things are coming true, or like things are happening. And you're just like, wow, I'm very grateful.
Yeah. Wow.
I think for me though, I always, like I obviously always looked up to like the older people and would like see professional athletes, and like I can still like put myself like in the shoes of like my younger self of just being like, oh my gosh, like they're awesome. And I always wanted, like how I talked about, wanted to like inspire and just like have that ability to be like, no, like we're playing beach volleyball and there are a bunch of people watching, and it's like, would I as a younger person like be watching this person play and be like, oh, like I want to be them? And like that's something that's always like in the back of my head of like knowing like, yeah, people are watching. It's like, what am I putting out and showing? Probably like mainly like younger kids, like basically someone who could be their idol. Like, what is that looking like? And I feel like I do have like the ability to like think about that while still like in game.
I mean, we talked about volleyball's going to end, and it was cool when we talked about it. It was kind of like, would you rather, if you had to pick one, be remembered by you being an amazing beach volleyball player, or you being an amazing person that played beach volleyball?
Yeah. No,
it's kind of like, which one is more important
to you and what you want to do?
Yeah.
No, again, it's weird. I'm sitting here and I'm like, that's amazing. I don't know how you guys have that perspective. Like, so I don't know. It's impressive. Yeah. Sorry. No, I enjoy it.
That did get kind of deep for
Yeah, sorry.
That was good.
And we'll go back to the favorite Disney movie.
That's why I was like, should I ask the funniest travel story now and lighten it up a little bit? Or
oh my gosh.
This is like in game.
Yeah,
I think so, because
let's do like on the court.
Okay, there we go.
I do think, I mean, we kind of did talk about the handshake, and so we were in Phoenix last year, AP Championships, and Phoenix
head down over here. Oh no.
I'm trying to think of like.
And Phoenix, like, we played really well in Phoenix. Like, things were just going our way. Things were clicking. And,
like, you know, when Kristen, like, she, like, literally was, like, hitting a shot and, like, walking away.
I was like Steph Currying it, like, in the shot.
I
just,
love
like,
that.
Walking back. But it was literally, there was, like, some crazy play. I think I, like, dug a hard-driven ball, and Taryn put up this, like, beautiful set, and we scored. And the other team called a timeout. And Drew was, like, at the bench, and we just, like, walk over, and he, like, puts his hand out, and he, like, gives us, like, a handshake, like, each of us. And we both just, like,
we acted like nothing happened.
Yeah, we were like, oh, this is normal. And there's literally like a video of it. And then looking back, it's like, why did we just do a handshake? Like
his wife was like, why were you guys shaking each other's hands in the middle of a game?
But it looks so natural. Like we had never done that before. That is definitely the first time I've ever gotten a handshake from Drew, like in game. And it literally looks like, I'm telling you, it looks like we do that every single time. And it was just great. Like, what the heck was happening?
Oh my gosh.
But it was funny seeing the video.
Firm handshake,
back.
like handshake.
Yeah. We'll have to,
like,
we'll
hey,
have
nice
to show you the
meet
video.
Wow,
yeah.
That's so
like,
great.
He has the video.
It's on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, it's on Instagram. Well, we'll have to show you the video. But that was pretty funny.
Oh my gosh.
That's
what else has happened? I mean, there's just like times where we whisper things to each other, and nobody else like knows what's going on, but like other people ask us, and we're like, no, it's okay. But there was one where you had like some amazing play, and I always react. I'm not very good at hiding my emotions on my face, and I went like my gum went to the back of my throat, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to play. And so
did you just swallow it?
No, I couldn't breathe. It was like, and then I think I like blocked the ball or something, and I like coughed, and I was like, I'm alive. Okay. Great play. That was so cool. But it was just like
Where did the gum end up?
random
On
things.
the sand? Came out?
Didn't you actually
Projectile?
come?
I kept-
I think
yeah,
it came back, and she was chewing it for the rest of the
Yeah, I like came back out.
It came back, actually.
Because I was fine. I was like,
Made its way back to the mouth.
wow.
And this is like, imagine like her after this point happened, like her trying to explain it to me, like mid game of like, Kristen,
In the middle of laughing.
The gum just went like back, and now I'm like still chewing it. And this is like literally mid game. I'm
During
like,
the game.
what?
But that you like have to enjoy the games. Like those like crazy things like that are gonna happen. And I think honestly, those events, like or those like crazy things that happen, it like takes your brain away from volleyball and you're like, okay, this isn't like as intense.
yeah.
100%.
And that's what's really nice because sometimes you can just get so wrapped up and I definitely do it. I mean, Mexico was rough for me on the
You
court.
want to talk about Mexico?
Like when we were in soccer, both Mexico trips were not good for my tummy, but
It was bad. Did you drink tap water or something?
No,
Or?
I
And that's
followed all the rules.
Yeah, we both did. It was like literally brushing your teeth. So you were
Right.
like, oh, I gotta pour the water.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it was so annoying. And I just remember calling my mom and being like, I am so sick. And I am playing in a swimsuit.
Yeah.
And there's only two of us. And we're on TV. So, and I was just like, the entire time I was like, oh my gosh, if something happens, I'm literally quitting beach volleyball.
Nothing happened though.
Which is
Nothing
so
happened.
embarrassing. Nothing happened, but it was like the
I'm
thought.
playing in a swimsuit.
We've played for 4 weeks in Mexico. So for 4 weeks, I've been running around in a swimsuit and like especially at World Champs. 1, you can't breathe because it was so high.
Yeah.
2, I didn't know, like I thought I was going to throw up in the middle of the game. I couldn't talk to Kristen because if I opened my mouth, it would like have come out. And after the game, everybody's like, great job. And I was like,
No.
And I like sprinted to the bathroom. And then we found out that the bathrooms have to be very, very close because if you are sick, you can tell the down ref and then you can go run off.
Really?
And then come back on. Yes, fun fact. Anyway, made it all 4 weeks. Nothing happened, but it is just like I tried to make it known that, or I tried to hide it so that nobody knew. And I don't think anybody could really tell, but I was so sick.
I mean, I did literally our first match in pool play. I had no idea. I thought she just wasn't talking because like she couldn't breathe because that's what I was doing.
Right.
I was literally like, Taryn, I can't celebrate because I can't breathe right now.
I think I gave her a
Focus.
thumbs up.
And that I was like, so I guess she's doing the same. And it turns out right after the game, she like sprinted off the court.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
But it's just like nobody knows that those things are going on. Like if you are sick and you're playing at World Championships, like get over it because you're
Yeah.
gonna keep playing.
100%.
And you just find a way. And I couldn't. In Mexico, I couldn't eat anything. So Kristen went to the store and she got like crackers and peanut butter and jelly, and that's all I could eat for a couple days. And it was just kind of like
Wow.
Which
the sight of food.
It's not like
horrible.
super funny at the time, but like thinking back on it
Now
now,
it's
it's,
funny.
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, you made it through, so yeah,
Oh my
everything
gosh!
is good.
Just
So
thinking about it, it's like, oh yeah, not fun.
I think that's like the second or third time you've brought up peanut butter and jelly on this podcast, and I'm like, I can't believe that I haven't eaten another peanut butter and jelly since we've talked about it. I need one in my life.
I love peanut butter so much.
Me too.
You do
I have
like
a
peanut
weird.
butter a lot.
I'm like obsessed with peanut butter. Yes. Do you like peanut things too, like peanut M&Ms? Or,
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jeff or Skippy?
Well, I do
Wow.
like natural
Oh.
brands, but
Oh,
yeah,
oh.
yeah. But if I had to,
Neither.
yeah, neither. Sorry.
Whole Foods.
Yeah. But if I had to pick between the two, Skippy, all
Oh,
day.
interesting.
Yes, all day.
We're not friends
Okay,
anymore.
sorry. Well, we were close. I could tell by the way you said Jif first too.
Are you like on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Are you like just significantly more peanut butter, or is it like a half and half?
No, significantly more peanut butter. And there's
I
like
could
a
even
little,
skip the jelly.
So when I was playing
Peanut butter or
baseball,
bread?
when I was playing ball in the minor leagues too, is like it's a grind. It's
Yeah.
on the way up, right, and all that stuff. So peanut butter and jelly were like a staple in there. I would just get 4 pieces of bread. I would toast them. I would make toasted peanut. Have you ever had toasted peanut butter and jelly? Crunchy
Yes.
peanut butter. Have a nice glass of milk with it.
Oh my!
You're in the minor leagues. You're grinding. I had some cereal too. Like yeah, but peanut butter, and it would just be peanut butter sandwiches sometimes because sometimes I didn't want all the jelly and yeah, I just needed crunchy peanut butter in my life. That was it. You like creamy or crunchy? Creamy. Yeah, we're a little off on the peanut butter, but
Yeah,
peanut
I
butter, the
know.
foundation was good. That's good. I love peanut butter enough. I don't care. I'm not picky about it. So, all right, let's get back to the volleyball. Enough peanut butter and jelly. How old were you when you guys started playing volleyball?
Ooh.
I guess yours is different because let's say beach volleyball.
Beach ball.
Well, how I started playing indoor volleyball was absolutely hilarious. I made a deal with my mom that I could, if she let me have a sleepover, I would go to volleyball tryouts. And she the next morning I was so angry, and I was like, oh, fine, I made the deal. She unbuckled my seatbelt, opened the door, and she was like, go. Somehow made the team, and this was in elementary school. But beach volleyball, I didn't start playing until I was, I think, 22, 21.
Were you always significantly taller than everybody?
No, I was
okay.
really tall, very average, very tall.
Nice. I kind of went the same way.
Yeah.
I started playing beach my sophomore year of high school, so I was probably 16.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's for some reason I thought you would have started earlier.
No, I mean I played
Fun pickup.
Indoor, but just beach. Literally, my first beach volleyball event was my sophomore year of high school. Wow. And then I really didn't start playing until junior year. So probably 16, 17 years old. Wow. So I haven't been playing a ton. No. I mean, compared to her, it's a ton.
Right.
But in comparison to all the people in California and Florida that play since they've been walking.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's funny how culture. Yeah, that's interesting. But you played indoor growing up?
Yeah. I played indoor. I played indoor in high school. But I never actually played. Everyone's always like, "What?" I never actually played club indoor volleyball because it always coincided with basketball season.
50 other sports.
I was just gonna say. Yeah, exactly.
Because it always fell into basketball season, so I would play, especially in high school. I would play indoor season and then just go into basketball season, and then would do beach in the summer. Very
cool. Did you play other sports too?
I played basketball. I didn't like when sweaty people I didn't know touched me. And I hated being pushed around.
That I did. Yeah, I was not a fan of that.
I hated that. Oh my gosh.
That was the most genuine, honest answer ever. That was incredible right there.
I know. It sounds horrible.
No, but it's very true because a part of me growing up, that was
so
you were
gross.
just you don't. It's a draw too because the person you could be playing against could be nasty, and then they could be like, oh, that's not that bad. I can handle that, But yeah, it's that's funny.
Basketball's rough.
That's very real.
I just got thrown around.
Well, and I was a big man too,
tall,
so so you're down low, you're banging, you're just boxing out. It's all contact.
Yeah.
It's everything. Yeah.
My dad's like, box out. I'm like, they can have the ball.
I'll just try to reach over here and grab it. I'm taller than them. I'll just grab it.
It was over the back again. Yeah.
I know. I didn't want to touch her. All right, so you said you guys have been playing for a little while. What made you actually want to continue playing the sport? I'm assuming they're asking after college, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine. And you said there was a question, if you guys were going to be able to play together, so.
Oh my gosh, there was so many questions. Nobody thought that we could. Literally, I don't think there was a single person that was like, yeah, that's possible.
And when you say that, you're talking about FIVB, you guys won't get on the tour because you guys don't have enough points and things like that?
Yeah.
AVP, you guys would have been fine, right? You just had to qualify.
AVP, we would have to start from the bottom because even AVP, I had 0 points, but you had some.
I had a couple.
Who did you play with before?
I played with Claire Coppola, who I actually played with before at LSU.
I didn't know you guys did AVP stuff together. That's cool.
We played in a couple tournaments, did a couple of the qualifiers.
Nice.
Not a ton, but
That's
a couple just to have some points.
Nice.
I brought nothing to the table.
Nothing to the table.
Yeah.
6'4" helps.
Why did we start? Yeah.
6'4" helps. Yeah.
Why do we keep playing? I feel like it's actually wild. As far as why we kept playing was the same tournament, right?
Yeah. The fact that we didn't know that the other person was thinking the exact same thing until we talked about it after. But
so COVID happened, everything. We kind of started playing together because of COVID. It was cold in South Dakota. She came down, started training, and we just went and started playing in a couple of AVP Next tournaments, which are just lower level AVP tournaments. And we were doing well. We went to some random tournament. It was a tournament in Tennessee. It was at Hyden Beach.
Franklin, Tennessee. Some random cute little town.
They were offering a decent amount of money. It was good prize money, and they actually had at the time it was Emily Stockman and Kelly Larson who were they had just missed out on the Olympics at the time, but they were the like 5th ranked team in the world or something. They were like doing really well. And at the time, she had no idea. She was still very new to beach. She had no idea who they were. But in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, like we could play them. Like I saw them in the tournament. I was like, we could play them.
Yeah.
We ended up playing them in the championship game and we won.
Oh my God.
And it was like, holy crap. So for me, it was like a light bulb moment of like, oh my goodness, like we can like compete with like some of the best teams in the world. And I think it was like on
and here I am like, woohoo, we won. Let's go home.
Yeah.
And I think it was like,
what do we do now?
We said if we won, we would go to Cinnaholic, which is like a cinnamon roll place that they just like put cookie dough on top and like a cookie dough with cinnamon roll. Are you kidding me? So that's what I was like, okay, we won. Let's go. Let's go get cinnamon rolls. And then Kristen's like, you have no idea who that was. And I was like, no, but we get cinnamon rolls.
Yeah. Like you're missing out. What?
Well, it was also even like a more like full circle moment because I said I started playing when I was like 16, 17. When I was probably like 17, there was a tournament at like Coconut Beach and it was a pretty big tournament. So it was actually like Betsy Flint and Kelly Larson, the girl who I mentioned we beat in the finals. They played in that tournament when I was like really young and I got absolutely destroyed by them. So then in that tournament, beat them in the championship. Yeah. It was like a holy crap moment. It was like really a holy crap moment for me. And then, she had no idea who they were. So after on our drive home, I was like, Taryn, do you know what just happened?
And then I go to town being a nerd like I am and just like researching everything about everything.
But it was wild that was like that one tournament, like in talking with after that was like the tournament, like for me that I was like, I think we could actually play at the next level. And it was like the same for her, which is wild.
I just didn't think I had a shot to like ever play at the next level, especially at the beginning when I just couldn't do anything.
That's good.
Oh my gosh.
That moment of realization though, like I think about that too as an athlete. That's a big question I ask on my podcast a lot is when did you know you belonged? You know, when did you know that you were here to stay or that kind of stuff, you know? So those moments to me are really cool. And again, that's why we do these things. And like, it's going to be cool to look back, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, hopefully to be able to see this stuff and be like, that's so funny. Like, just the infancy of it. While we're on the mental side of things, let's, you guys, I'm assuming you guys do sports psychology based on this question, right? So key takeaways of your sports psych sessions. Are there things that you guys work on? What are your keys? Do you guys have things together that you attack?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the whole point when you said together, it's like you're working together. And sometimes it can be seen as like in a partnership, it's like one versus the other, but it has to be like you two versus everybody else. Right. And I think that we really do embrace that pretty well. But there are definitely times where we're meeting with Dr. Whitman. So I've been working with him since I was at Creighton playing indoor. He came to LSU, started working with the team at LSU, and then we have continued to work with him. He's absolutely fantastic. I feel like he knows me better than I know myself. And he like asks me things and I'm like, oh, that's a good point. And he's like, no wonder you do this. You're really good at this. But I think even sometimes when I don't think there's anything else for us to talk about, he brings up situations and we talk about them before something happens. And then in the tournament, somehow it like gets brought up and we're like, oh, how did he know?
I love it.
I mean, I will definitely say like for athletes out there who are like, oh, do I want one? Do I not want one?
Yes.
I was definitely always like in college, I was like, I don't need a sports psych. Like, I don't need to talk to anyone. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm killing it. I don't really need to talk. And it was actually, we decided just to do it as a team. It was like, I think it was actually during our like 5th place run when we were just like 5th place after 5th place. And it was like, what can we do to help kind of get through that barrier? And it was talking to him. And it really is like, now that I have talked with him and we've invested in it, it is like, oh my goodness, I really do encourage like all athletes, even if you like don't think you need to, he really does like bring up so many points that like, you're like, oh, I never thought about it like that. Or just things in tournament. Like, hey, he brings up scenarios of like, I know this hasn't happened yet, but say it does happen. How are you going to work through it? And it's like, oh, we never thought about that.
It's like all the conversations you don't want to have.
Right.
He will also bring those up.
Yeah.
But it's almost like prehab, right? You
Yeah.
guys do things to
Yeah.
prevent injuries, and that's kind of what it is and what I hear you guys talking about on the mental side of things.
Yeah.
Eventually things are going to happen. You guys are with each other all day, every day. There's going to be
sure.
all these scenarios. So let's get ahead of it now.
I mean, the reason we wear the wristbands where mine says trust, hers says confidence, which has been like a huge contributor in our success and like how we've gotten through those like 5th place lulls is because of him. He was like, hey, why don't you try out this? Because there would be so many times like in games where like if I'm not doing well and Taryn says something, I would just get like even more angry and I'd like want to like freaking like bite her head off basically.
Yeah.
But he was like, hey, if you maybe put this wristband on, you can just like make a notion of like, hey, just read the wristband and you won't like basically get in
It's
a
like you
bigger
can't
argument.
mess anything up with words because you're not using any.
Exactly.
You're just using a gesture instead of words.
Right. And everybody's communication style is different, right? So you might take things differently. And especially you're saying the state of mind you're in, you're under stress, right? You might not hear it clearly. And so that is a clear communication right then and there. So I love that. It was funny. I was listening to a podcast this morning. I listened to this show. It's something about greatness, people being great. And this guy, he interviewed this like high level therapist. And he was saying that him and his fiance now entered couples therapy. Like when they started their relationship, they agreed to go into couples therapy from the jump without any problems just to get ahead of things. And it's kind of like eerily similar to what you're talking about. Because he was like, we talk about things that haven't happened yet, but when they do happen, we have a reference point to say, look, this is how we're going to handle it based on my communication style, your communication style. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's like he's a marriage therapist.
Yeah. And people always talk about like beach volleyball. It's like a marriage type of thing, or it's like a partnership. And we do spend a ton of time together. So I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
Makes a ton of sense. Yeah. And I love that too. Cause like I said, like you guys are with each other all day, every day, knowing who you guys are and how to communicate with each other is huge. And that's why, again, no accident. You guys are who you are.
But highly encourage it. Sports psych.
I love that. I was a big had a great relationship with all my sports psychs because I was like, it was always so fascinating to me is like in baseball, right? There's so much competition. Same with you guys. How do you separate yourself? And sometimes that little mental edge is exactly what does separate you guys, and when you're at the top of the world and you guys are fighting for spots like that, that's big.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to find that 1%.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go because it's been 40 minutes right now. I know we like to keep the episodes around 30, but we kind of touched on this a little bit, but how do you guys manage the no volleyball parts of the job? I think we kind of dove into that a little bit, but maybe there's something that you didn't say or you want to comment on.
We have a shared notes page that just grows every single day. And it's like, hey, we have to do this. But it's like meeting with people, Zoom calls, literally phone calls, meeting with them in person, having dinners, having lunches, going to events, setting up travel, booking flights, hotels, literally everything. And it's so much easier when we can just like divide and conquer, or be like, hey, we need to both be on the same page. So it's almost like scheduling times to talk about things so that we can get it off of our plate. But it really is like a couple hours every day of like answering emails or sorting through things, talking about schedule, setting up meetings. It's a lot actually.
Yeah, it definitely is more than just like you got to go play volleyball.
Show up and play.
It's not like there's so many things that do happen behind the scenes that as I feel like elite athletes like you don't really think about, and they're definitely like now I really do have like way more respect for all other professional athletes out there. I'm like, when I see things, especially on social media or just like them doing podcasts or things like that, I'm like, like so much more goes into that than like what you think.
Exactly.
But a shared notes page. That is a shared calendar.
We do have everything.
Everything is shared. Everything is shared.
That's how you guys survive. That's what I'm saying is like, I was telling somebody in here the other day, we were talking about how when I first got drafted, my agent literally set everything up. So I didn't I was so lucky that I didn't have to think about that stuff. Literally I would just call her and be like, hey, I just got promoted to Salem, Virginia. My flight's in an hour. I just got called up. I need an apartment. I need a rental car. And they would just do it all right. But you guys do all that on your own. Like that's wild. And again,
I honestly don't think we would like.
I don't want anybody to book my flight. I want to know exactly where I'm going. I want to know the times. I want to know what seat I am in.
I love that.
Yeah,
See, I'm the exact opposite. I'm like, wait, tell me where and then where I need to be. Boom, done. Just don't give me a middle row or a window seat, I just know I'm showing up. That's you're like, I want hands on everything.
I think we're both kind of like that.
I like it. All right, well, maybe we have like 4 more questions. Let's do rapid fire for these last couple ones so that way nobody feels left out. Yep. Who's your favorite team to play against, international or American? It says international / American. So maybe both,
Favorite team
each team.
I do like playing Dude and Anna Patricia. I like playing, oh my gosh, Mel and Brandy. They're just like, we always know that it's going to go 3, and it's just like always going to be a battle.
You guys do have a lot of battles, yeah.
We do.
But I think Dude and Patricia are fun.
Yeah.
Just because.
Is that just because they're high, like one of those?
We haven't beat them yet, and every single time, you have to just go out and perform, and we'll get them eventually. But even though we've lost every time, it's still like it's fun to go battle against them.
Would you say they're your biggest rival? Because that was another question. Right now, especially if they have the number
I don't
one
even know
target,
if you
right?
can fully call it a rivalry though, because we have not won. So
how many times have you guys played?
Probably like, is it really 8? I feel
I
like it's
don't
like
know,
5
but
or
we've
6.
lost all of them.
I think it's like 5 or 6. So I don't even know if you can fully call it a rivalry, but yeah, we'll say
I'm losing by 2 points in the third set.
But in America, I'd probably say Kelly and Sarah. I feel like everyone is always like, "Oh my goodness, y'all are playing."
For sure.
They like to hype that up, I'm sure. Yeah. All right, real quick. Mindset on defense.
Go get the ball.
What did I say? What did you say? See
ball, get ball.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
Simple.
For sure. Be
Keep it
patient.
simple,
Be
super.
patient. React. That's it.
Be patient, react, and yours is what? See ball,
No, that's that's
sorry.
right. Just go get the ball.
go get the ball. And what does that mean?
Block the ball.
Block the ball.
Like,
hit it. Like do your.
not just like letting the ball hit you. It's like
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go put my hands in the way, basically.
Love it. All right, last one. Number one thing you guys want to improve on, or what you think you have to improve on the most.
Serving.
Oh,
Boom. That's it. Mic drop. That was it. Serving.
done.
Both of you guys?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. I think you guys serving's badass. I guess. All right. No. I'm a rookie. I just watched it. I'm just here for the fun to watch. But yeah, that was good. That was 42 minutes of questions. So that was a little longer episode, but it was good. You guys gave some good in-depth answers. What's coming up real quick? You guys got a couple weeks off? No traveling?
We have 2 more tournaments left this year. Brazil, World Tour Finals, and then that's
Little
it.
time off.
And then Christmas.
Sand in the Sand. If you guys haven't signed up, if you guys are interested, if there's any sponsors, right? You guys have some opportunities still.
Yep.
TKNVball.com. There's a section dedicated to Sand in the Sand.
See you there.
There it is. All right, ladies.
Thank you.